foundation lays down the frame to a minister is compromise. Today, the Prime Minister has completely surrendered Trump. The Modi government's foreign policy has completely failed, the impact of which is being fully felt in our domestic policy as Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Israel. There he called Israel his father, and that father started a war even before Prime Minister Modi landed in India. Today, India is also burning in that fire between America, Israel, and Iran. The entire country is in a state of panic. You just saw the gas prices increase. The price of a domestic gas cylinder was increased by 60 euros. The price of a commercial cylinder was increased by 115 euros. Union Petroleum Minister Hardeep Puri, who is accountable to the millions of people of the country for why this has been thrown into this fire, is running away and evading accountability. You, the Prime Minister of the country, Narendra Modi, are giving them the opportunity to flee and escape. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, at this country's Southeast Parliament is in session and the country is in turmoil. You should have stood up in the Delhi Parliament to hold the country accountable. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, one fugitive Modi has already fled the country and another has fled Parliament campaigning in the electoral state of Tamil Nadu. We urge the Prime Minister to return to the Delhi Parliament and once again legislate on the sewer gassy technology you described as a great scientist. We have your video. We are showing you how, if there's a gas shortage in the country, you can overcome this crisis with sewer gas. Oh, I would say Prime Minister Narendra Modi's a formula for sewer gas. If gas becomes expensive or gas is unavailable, don't panic. We're demonstrating this formula given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And we, Prime Minister, request you to leave the Tamil Nadu election campaign and return to Delhi. Explain this formula in Parliament and ensure its benefits reach the people.
He took the gas that used to come out of the sewer through a pipeline to tea stall, and he used that gas to make tea in hand. Simple technology.
Simple technology. So Prime Minister explain this simple technology and bring us out of this crisis. This isn't the first time the country has faced a disaster during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tenure. You saw before that when debt shut that forced the entire country to stand in ATM lines. Millions of people were standing in ATM lines. Then, when the COVID-19 lockdown happened, we saw millions of oxygen lines due to oxygen shortages. Then we saw lines forming at cremation grounds, and today, the plight of gas cylinders has been reduced. The truth is that the entire country is a victim of Trump's captivity, and that captivity, that slave, has been made by Trump, none other than the country's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What is the reason behind this? There is only one reason. In the absent files, there is a pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, a pedophile who is fond of minor children, who satisfies his lust with them and then serves those innocent children to others, is called a pedophile. Jeffrey was the absent file, and he was a friend. Whose friend was he? He is a friend of the country's petroleum minister, Hardeep Puri. The pedophile today is completely in his hands. raising and lowering the prices of petrol and diesel and supply is in Hardy Puri's hands. But the decision isn't being made from India. It's not being made from the Indian. It's not being made by sitting among millions of people. Who is making the decision? Where will the oil come from in our country? When will it come? How much will it cost? How much will it take? This decision will not be taken by Modi, who has surrendered, who has compromised. The one who's captives and who's slaves, Trump, my friend Donald Trump, Prime Minister, is doing it and is getting you to do it. He is scaring you by showing you files. Look at the Epstein files. All the evidence, all the photos, all the dark deeds. If you don't accept the conditions, your name has already come up, Prime Minister. Hardy Puri's name has come up. And he has admitted to meeting a pedophile Epstein. He has admitted to having had conversations on more than 64 emails. Your name has also come up, only that threat is being used, and Trump is blackmailing Modi. The blackmailing is ongoing. The second reason is what the leader of the opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, said in the parliament and is saying again and again, that the prime minister of the country is not coming to the Lok Sabha out of fear, and he ran away because Rahul Gandhi explained the reason. The file is the reason. And the second reason is the criminal case is filed against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's capitalist friend Adani in the US. To avoid both these things, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has put the entire country and its future at stake. In this time, only one way remains to rescue this country from disaster. The only reason is that as Prime Minister, you have the country's interest at stake. The 140 crore people are farmers, among whom employment and unemployment are becoming an issue today. The farmers' issue is the droughts that are causing our trade losses. The only way to escape all this is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is being blackmailed. You hold the position of Prime Minister and have the ability to do whatever Trump says. And you are doing it today. But when you resign from this position, Trump will naturally not be able to blackmail any other prime minister. He will not be able to blackmail them by showing the absent files or citing Adani's criminal cases. This is the only reason you're sitting as prime minister today. To save files and Adani, you've put the entire country's population of 1.4 billion at stake for one man. Or to save yourself and your own minister. We've seen the impact of these high prices across the country. I'm presenting a map of the entire country before you. Minister Hardeep Puri was saying on February 9th that there was no shortage. Stores are full. Look at this. The news from Delhi is the national news today. Reports are coming from Bob, Gujarat, and Mumbai. There's a shortage of LPG and gas cylinders everywhere. People are standing in long lines. Karnataka, Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Kerala, any state in the country, you name it. From north to south, east to west, it's completely affected. It's so severe that domestic cylinder shortages have worsened. You increased commercial prices by 15 euros. Even in such high prices, people accepted it. They were running their restaurants and hotels. But suddenly we learned that you've cut off their supply. And in Karnataka and other states, the hotel industry, restaurants, and our MSMEs are on the verge of closure. Even now, after seeing this situation, this government claims everything is fine. Nothing is fine. You should take off this mask of everything being fine. Because the consequences of this mask are the result of your blackmailing by Donald Trump of America. Even the crematoriums, in the crematoriums where the bodies are cremated have been running on wood, iron wood. Not only this, today, my domestic worker, before coming to the press conference, told me that she had to return to her village She is telling you what happened. Please listen. This truth is prevalent in every household. The impact of inflation alone has reached families. Cases have escalated to violence, even beatings at police stations, and there's complete turmoil in homes. I would ask you to show that video. Listen to what's happening. This is the story of every household today. Domestic violence, even because of nothing.
Son who is fighting.
He's fighting?
Son and daughter-in-law.
Where are the son and daughter-in-law fighting?
And then the daughter-in-law said, "Get the gas, huh?" Yep. Son said, "It's so expensive. I don't have 1,000 rupees." Then how can I cook food on wood like this?
Yes. Where do you live? Son and daughter-in-law.
Where is the village? In the village? My village is Bolarampur, Tefto Police Station.
From West Bengal, right?
West Bengal.
Yes.
This is my maid saying that she's gonna call from her son that she had a physical altercation with her daughter-in-law because she couldn't afford 1,000 rupee cylinder and was forcing her to cook on wood. That's why they got into a scuffle, got angry, and the matter has reached the police station. And she's worried, a poor person who left her home and is in Delhi for work. This reality has happened in every household. This is no small matter. When prices rose on March 7th, my entire Mahila Congress, all of us, requested an appointment with Hardipuri Yare, Union Minister. You didn't give us time. We've been searching for you. Where have you disappeared from Parliament, from the streets, from everywhere? Naturally, you're under constant pressure and pressure from America. That's why you're busy there. You don't have time to meet with us because the absent file is exposing you. And you're making compromises. You're receiving orders from there and you're following those orders. That's why you're not meeting with us. My Delhi State Mahila Congress President Pushpa is sitting here. I, along with my entire Mahila Congress, are sitting here. We went to Hardeep's house at 6 Ekpart Road on the day the price of an LPG cylinder increased by 60 euros. He refused to meet with us. We took our stand from there, raising slogans demanding a rollback of the high LPG cylinder prices. Then we went. We raised our voices loudly, reaching deep into Hardipuri, where we were sleeping, and returned to Akbar Road. By the time we arrived, an FIR had been filed against us. 3 FIRs were filed against me. One against my Delhi Pradesh Mahila Congress President, and another against Samita Gaure, our All India National Coordinator who had come from Pune for our 2-day meeting. She was with us and FIRs were filed against all of them. The names of the others are also being sought. Police are being sent to their homes. What is the crime? The Mahila Congress's crime is that you demanded a rollback of the rising LPG gas prices. For raising that voice, we are all facing an FIR. And from here, I was taken straight to the Tughlaq police station along with my president and my entire team. Have you been booked? You've taken away this right in democracy by protesting against rising prices. Now the constitution has been changed. The voices of democracy have been suppressed, and we are going to appear at the Tughlaq Riders police station right here at 3:00 p.m. You will file an FIR against us. This is how they will scare people. Those in power will be the ones to be scared. They are afraid of Trump. That is why I put everything related to the country at stake. But Mahila Congress or any of our workers from Youth Congress were sent to jail. We are not going to be scared. We are adamant on our demand that the high prices be immediately withdrawn from the charges and people should be given relief from this inflation and unemployment. Until this government gives relief to the people from inflation, every worker of Mahila Congress and Congress will remain agitated and will protest everywhere, be it the parliament, the prime minister's residence, or the house of the union minister, petroleum minister, whoever needs to be surrounded, those in power. Those in power who are taking decisions under the pressure of Trump and Modi, we will keep putting pressure on them like this. It's sad and worrying that the same thing happens every time. Dias that nothing is happening. No, when things get worse, they then delay saying, shut up, go inside, let time pass. When they can't, they blame the previous governments, blame everything on Pandit Nehru, and then start the game of defamation. This is their ongoing charade. Today, Trump's press secretary's statement is going viral. Everyone is hearing Trump's press secretary. In it, that India will not buy oil from Russia after we said it after Trump said it, the Narendra Modi government stopped buying oil from Russia. This isn't me saying this, it's their spokesperson in the Modi government who is saying it. I'm telling you, government. She spoke to the president about it, and the president and the secretary, the entire national security team, came to this decision because our India has not been good actors and previously Russian oil. So as we work to bridge this temporary gap between all suppliers on the world because of the temporary restrictions, they have to accept oil. And this Russian oil was already at sea. It was already on the water. This measure, we don't believe it will provide significant financial benefit to the Russian government at this time. She is saying, officially giving a press conference and saying, quote, Trump spoke to Prime Minister Modi about not buying oil from Russia. He had stopped buying oil, and that is why we reduced the tariff, because there is a shortage from Russia now. So now Trump told Prime Minister Modi that you can buy oil from Russia for one by telling Pelinga. You're thinking that this country is cowardly, compromised, surrendered up previous Prime Minister Narendra Modi has put India's reputation and the future of 1.4 billion people at stake by bowing to Trump. We will not tolerate this at all. We will pay any price for it, but we will not allow this to happen to the people of this country in any way. We will continue to raise our voice against this, and our movement will continue today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. I had a 2-day national executive meeting. The national president was supposed to come to Indira Bhavan to meet my executive members. He said he wouldn't be able to come due to a parliament. I should take my national executive to 10, Rishi Mark, to meet the president and seek his blessings and guidance. Our entire national executive, including my office bearers from across the country, arrived at 10, Rishi Mark, yesterday, and were informed that it was the residence of the army chief, so our vehicles were not allowed to be parked there. They had been moved further away. So when he came out after meeting the national president, we saw that there were no vehicles. The vehicles had been taken away. We were all walking leisurely towards our vehicles. The police completely surrounded us, and they mistreated our women, did whatever they could. And our sisters had until 6 p.m. when we came out, after meeting the national president. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for 2 hours, our sisters were illegally detained in various police stations, including the Mandir Mart police station and the Tuglak Lake police station. I also released a video of myself repeatedly trying to speak to the SAO and the commissioner about what was the photo crime in picking up our sisters after 6 o'clock p.m. But all they said was, quote, stop this compromised don't PM campaign you're running. You're demanding a reduction in cylinder prices outside Hardeepura's house against inflation, but you won't do that. We want to tell the Delhi police that whatever you're doing on the orders of the Home Minister, we will obey the Constitution, which, under a democratic system, mandates us to raise our voice against anything wrong happening in the country. We, the Prime Minister, have compromised that. We will continue our nationwide campaign. This will continue until you, the Prime Minister of the country, break free from the illegal demands and blackmail of Trump, the American president. You can file as many FIRs as you want. Summon us to police stations as many times as you want. Harass us and send us to jail. You've already seen our youth Congress colleagues. You can also send our Mahila Congress colleagues to jail. But we will take this campaign nationwide in Leela. We cannot see the government becoming a slave not to Trump. We once again urge the Prime Minister to Hardeepuri's resignation, right? Release him, or else the prices of petrol and diesel, currently domestic and commercial LPG cylinders, are on the rise. You'll see Petrol and diesel prices are also rising under pressure from the US, making it seem like they're at war. Why are we bearing the brunt of this? Because of your policies, all this foreign policy failure will affect us, and we aren't directly affected by the war. We are not directly, but indirectly being victims of your foreign policy and your blackmailing. But I assure you, and I'm seeing shamelessly the Prime Minister, instead of addressing this massive disaster, skipping the Parliament session and campaigning in Tamil Nadu, while Hade Puri is completely absent. I would like to tell my fellow journalists, please take any questions you have related to this, and our movement will continue without fear. We are getting courage and strength from the fact that in the Rajya Sabha, our national president, Mallikarjun Kharge and Sonia Gandhi, are raising their voices against a crisis facing the country. And in the Lok Sabha, our leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and our leader, Priyanka Gandhi, as the leader of the opposition, are raising their voices. And on the streets, our entire Mahila Congress, our front organizations and all our Congress workers will come out on the streets and continue to completely surround this rotten government and hold it accountable. Thank you.
Ma'am, the LPG cylinder problem is being seen across the country. Yesterday, the government stated that there is no crisis. There is no crisis in the country, and that the government is also monitoring the entire matter. But today, different images are emerging from various states across the country showing how people are out on the streets holding cylinders in their hands. So a huge crisis is looming in the country. What would you like to say about that?
Look, we are saying that a disaster has struck the entire country. People have come out on the streets. Their stoves have gone cold. Their pockets are empty. Their cylinders are empty. Their stomachs are empty. And we saw a woman crying that she hadn't been able to get a cylinder for 3 days. The stove at home wasn't burning. Food wasn't cooking. And she was standing in lines distressed. It's no big deal. You've seen farmers dying in lines for fertilizer. You've seen people dying in lines for oxygen during the COVID-19 pandemic. You've seen people dying in ATM lines waiting to exchange notes during demonetization, and that's no big deal. If the government doesn't wake up in time, we'll see people dying in these lines, hungry and thirsty for hours on end, and there won't be a more horrific scene. That's why we're saying that on February 9th, the petroleum minister officially gave a statement. We can share with you his statement, which said we have 72 days of storage cow. It hasn't even been a month since the statement was made, and today people are on the streets across the country. Listen to Hardev Puri's statement. There's no shortage for domestic consumers. CNG and PNG supplies continue. Hardeep Puri has been cut off from the ground. The reality is that there is no shortage on the roads. This big statement was made by Hardeep Puri, clearly stating that there is no shortage for domestic consumers. This statement was made on February 9th. Today is March 11th. Not even 30 days have passed, and there is chaos on the roads. People have been standing empty with gas cylinders for hours. You have made a joke of it. Today, these cylinders, whose prices should have been reduced, you increase the price by 60 euros. I would say people somehow accepted that, but you have stopped the supply of gas. You've stopped the supply altogether, and people look at the same wood stove about which the Prime Minister once said that the old mother's eyes burn and she is going blind. You had talked about giving subsidy. Today, even those on subsidy don't have cylinders, and my old mother back in the village, you saw my story of a servant in the house. And look, there's nothing in the pot. This is it. There's nothing to cook. No water. People are fooling their children into thinking they're cooking. The gas isn't burning. How will they cook food? By giving them water. poor are filling their stomachs by chopping onions, while the Prime Minister of the country, Narendra Modi, is subservient to Trump by eating cashew flour. Thank you.
Ma'am, when the price of cylinders increased in 2014, Smriti Irani sat down on the streets at Jantar Mantar with a cylinder. So how do you intend to respond to this increase in cylinder prices? Through a press conference, or will you also take to the streets? Will you raise the voice of the poor people?
No, I've already taken to the streets and an FIR has been filed against me. If you read this FIR, we went to the home of Union Petroleum Minister Hardeep Puri in Akbarpur and asked for a meeting where we explained the severity of the situation and how it was affecting the public. He refused to give us time. We tried to reach him loudly from this side of the door. Our crime is that we raised the issue of rolling back rising prices and providing relief. An FIR has been filed against 3 of our female colleagues, and we are going to the Tugla Plain Police Station after this press conference. To say we will only stay at the press conference, we will take to the streets like Smriti Irani. But there's a difference between us and Smriti Irani, whether we are in government or not. When we feel that the public is being harmed in a democracy, we must raise our voice to protect them, from that harm. We did so then. We continue to do so today. If anyone is missing now, it is the Cinderella Minirar, who was known as Cinderella at the time. She used to roam around with a silk tarelli. Today, I feel if they have even a little bit of morality left, then they should come back on the road and on the basis of morality, along with the women, along with the people, along with the cylinder lines, demand from Prime Minister Modi ji that he should not bow down to Trump, and instead of accepting his conditions, he should take his own decisions, keeping India in mind. The entire opposition, the entire Congress is standing with you, but it is a matter of sadness. The Prime Minister of the country is running away from his responsibility and accountability. Thanks once again to all of you journalist friends. We will go to Tugla Lane Police Station from here. That is an FIR. After that, we will continue this movement with full force. Thank you. Jai Hind.